Hi everybody, welcome to my tutorial on the heart-shaped strawberry flavored hot chocolate bombs. I'm gonna go ahead and do just one for you today, just quick and easy to show you how to get this mix going. Like always, I use my double boiler. I already have some mix done. You put it in there, get it all mixed up together, beautiful color with little specks in it. The first thing that we use is the freeze-dried strawberries. I put them in a food processor. Run it through there quite a bit to get it powdered down. There's going to be some chunks, but that's okay. You're going to put it in the Ghirardelli's white chocolate melting wafers, and we're going to use some jello. We don't want to use a lot, maybe a couple teaspoons here and there just for flavor. We don't want it to gel up too much when you put in hot milk. Everything I got is mixed up. We're going to do just like the other ones. We're going to get about a tablespoon, teaspoon and a half tablespoon, depending on how you want to do it, to put in to coat it. We're going to do the dump after the first coat instead of the second coat like I've done in other tutorials. Just because with this being an odd shape, this is one of those diamond cut hearts, it's a little easier to brush the second coat versus just roll it through like I normally do. Get enough in there to roll all the way around, get it all the way to the edge. Again, if it gets too far over the edge, you get a flat knife or a spatula and scrape it right off. Once you're done, take the excess and dump it in. We're not going to use it for the second round. Again, it makes it a little difficult. Plus, this mixture makes the chocolate a little thicker and it sets a little different than it normally would. So as you can see, I had some excess come out. Get the spatula, just scrape it right off. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the second one. Put it right in there and roll it around till you get to the edges. Now make sure that you get it to the inside V. It's very difficult to roll in there, so when you rolling it, make sure you get all the way to the tip and the bottom, but on the top of the heart, make sure you get it all the way to that top of the V. You probably will have some spilling over, and that's fine. It's easier to pick it up than not have enough in that corner, because it will make it very fragile and very thin, and then it won't line up when you're trying to make your edges seal together. Same thing, get it all the way to the bottom and just dump out. So there you go, that's how it's going to look, completely filled all the way to the edges with one coat. Once you get them all done, whether you're doing 2, whether you're doing 10, put them on something flat, preferably, and put them in the freezer for about 3 minutes. Once they're set, we're going to bring them back out, and we're going to do the second coat. We're going to do this with the brush. It's nice and hard and it's very cold. We don't want to get a lot of mixture on the brush, because we don't want the mixture to go back in and melt what you already have. It's very cold, so that chocolate that you put on top is going to set pretty quick, and that's what we want. We want it to set really quick and not remelt any chocolate, so that we can harden the sides and thicken the sides a little. Again, make sure you get that top V really well, because that's one of the most vulnerable spots when you're doing this. The bottom part is not so bad, and it's going to be thick, so it's going to be hard to fill later on, but you'll see that it'll work out just fine. But make sure you get all those edges nice and thick, so that later it's easier to bring the two together. All right, once you're done with both halves, you're going to do the same thing and put it in the freezer for 3 minutes. Here are some molds that I did earlier and took out so that you could see different kinds. I did the normal round molds for the hot chocolate bomb. How shiny and pretty that pink looks. Got some of the diamond cut hearts. And I took some of the excess chocolate that I had and I made chocolate covered Oreos. So it tastes really yummy with the chocolate and the strawberry on top. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the two that I was working on so that you can see how we take them out of the mold. Like always, we're going to push down on the edges of the mold just to loosen up so that you don't break that edge when you're pulling it out of the mold. And just snap it out. It comes out very quick and easy. Now this mold in particular does not leave a shiny outside, and that's fine. Not all molds leave that outside shiny like that. It depends on the inside of the silicone, what the texture of your mold or of your product is going to be once it's out of the mold. But there you see I got the two separated. I'm going to go ahead and bring in two of the spheres so you can see the difference in filling them. These are a little bit smaller than the sphere, so it's different when we fill them because it doesn't hold as much as the sphere does. Alright, so we're set now to fill them. The first thing I'm going to show you is the cocoa mix. I use the Ghirardelli Majestic Cocoa Powder. Again, it's about 1 teaspoon of powder to tablespoon of sugar, or 1/3 cup of powder to 1 cup of sugar. Then I use the Dehydrated Marshmallows. Some people ask me why. I just like having a little bit crunchy texture sometimes to it. They melt really well, but it's still fun. And the regular Jet Puff Marshmallows. Now we found these at Target. They're heart-shaped. It says strawberry flavored, but it's really not a strong strawberry flavor, so you could really use it with any hot chocolate bomb, regardless of what flavor it is. It really does not come out into your bomb and give it that strawberry flavor that you may not want. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. The first thing, of course, that we do is we want to get the bottom of the two pieces flat. Again, we have to put both of them to the heat, not just the top one, because then the bottom one will be uneven. So we go ahead and we lightly put both pieces to the heat just to flatten them out a little bit, and that way when we put the top part, it'll be a lot easier to get the seams. Alright, we got the bottom parts flat. The first thing I put in is the cocoa mix. I put 1 tablespoon in each one. For the heart, I use just a little bit less than the tablespoon because they're smaller, and you can make them at least with a little less of the milk if wanted to. And that way we can hold other things inside. Otherwise, it's very difficult between the size and the shape of it to get anything but the cocoa mix. And I think that when you put the hot stuff on top, it's fun to see marshmallows and stuff come out too. First we put the heart-shaped one, that way it takes the most amount of room, and then I put all the other little stuff that I put inside. We got it all in and ready to go. Make sure that you don't have any marshmallows up against your edges, because then it makes it difficult when you bring down the top on it. If you get a marshmallow stuck in there, it can make your edge uneven. It melts it into the chocolate and just makes it difficult to get your seams correct. Again, put the top onto the pan, a little warm, just flatten it out. Use a little bit of that melted chocolate that comes from it to seal it. Just rub your finger through it and seals it. No, I'm not wearing gloves. I've heard people say comments about that. Just for this purpose, I'm just doing it with my hands. These are for home use anyways. I wouldn't give it to a customer. But there's your seal right there. You see it's a little bit open. Just grab an excess chocolate and fill it up. And do the same thing with the sphere. I'm going to go ahead and bring the other ones in for decoration purposes. I use the red melts for these. These are the ones that I found at Michael's, and of course I'll put all the links below. In the microwave for 1 minute at 50% power for the start, and then 30-second intervals, 50% power until it's completely melted. And just move it around and squish it with your hands until you feel that there's no more lumps of the melts inside. And there you go, the nice and decorated, I wouldn't say nicely decorated, but just a quickly decorated hot chocolate bombs. Now, as always, I'm going to put one in a mug, show you how nicely it opens up. With this chocolate and the strawberry in it, it makes it a little bit thicker. It's a little bit gritty because of the chocolate or the strawberries in it. So it just opens up and it breaks open a little bit different. But it tastes delicious, almost like a chocolate covered strawberry. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm appreciating all the comments and all the watches. So have a good day.